Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 0. The game has happened at Old Trafford. It's the 32nd game of our season, and United have gone ahead to win it, and we are seated fourth onto that Premier League table. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment, and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. United is really cruising at Old Trafford, and obviously we've gone ahead to extend our unbeaten run in the Premier League. Remember, we last lost a game here in the beginning or in the opener game of the Premier League season when you're playing Brighton, and Brighton beat us by 2-1. That was the first competitive game of Eric Ten Hag, and he lost it at Old Trafford. But ever since then, the rest has been history. We are really cruising and grooving to the levels of where we expect United to be. Very good today. Bruno Fernandes has found himself onto the score sheet today in a game that looked like we were all over it in the first half. Second half, things happened to change. And I think the second half was shared 50-50 because Aston Villa needed to get out of their shell. How did Aston Villa plan their first half? They came in the first half playing a high line, but they never committed a lot of bodies in the half of Manchester United. They just wanted to really keep a high line, stop Marcus Rashford from really going ahead to find himself in good scoring positions. And obviously, in the first half, we had close to 6 offsides. That's courtesy of the high line that was played by Aston Villa. But as you know, the players of United never fail. Casemiro just blocked a header, and it found Rashford into a very well position. He ran past that back line, went in for a curling effort. Martinez, the goalkeeper of Aston Villa, just punched it, and it found a Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes hit it into the back of the net to make it 1 for Manchester United. Though the goal came in late, and it came into the 39th minute, but United had a lot of efforts into the first half, and the stats are really going to show you what exactly this game of football was all about. But all what we needed was that one goal. It was that one goal that we needed to see to it that we really put ourselves in the comfortable position of a lead. And after that goal came in through, Aston Villa opened up and got out of their shell. They are willing to really play high line, but that was really defensive, and obviously have a lot of numbers behind the ball to make it hard for us to really penetrate them. But after that goal of Bruno Fernandes that came in through in the 39th minute, Aston Villa found themselves without option, and they had to open up. And them opening up, we also had very many good opportunities that were really unutilized by Manchester United. I think the composure of United in front of goal is really lacking, because in the second half, you remember that Eriksen attempt that he would have gone ahead to find himself in a better position of really killing off the game, and he didn't. So even Sancho really was a little bit of overcarrying the ball, and I think would have gone ahead to really hit this team onto the break very many times and find ourselves scoring like 2 or 3 goals more than the one we had scored in the first half. Marcus Rashford, he led the line very well, but the way he really controls that ball, he's not press resistant according to me. Every time he's having numbers close to him, he finds himself lost in the game and cannot really operate. So that's the difference that Anton Martial gives us every time he plays and leads the line. And you saw when he came on through for only like 5 minutes, when he got that ball, he released Anthony, and Anthony went in for a babish shot to the goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez, and he saved it. So that's something that Rashford needs to add into his game if at all he really wants to become that centre forward. Because if you're a wide player, you can play as a wide player for like 30 years. At the age of 30, then you can really try yourself and really find yourself playing as a centre forward for the club of Manchester United. But Rashford, to me, he's one of those players that we can go all out and blame for our not coming in through and obviously scoring other goals, because sometimes you question his decision-making and how he controls the ball and his intention every time he decides to go on and really take on players, because he finds himself down on several occasions that are really babyish, and everyone wouldn't like to be having that. But for Eric Ten Hag, I think it has been a masterclass for him. I like the passing. We passed the ball very, very well. And if I don't even enjoy the passing, then maybe you were watching a different kind of game altogether, because this time around, I saw United complete very many passes through the midfield, making good build-up plays, though we never capitalized onto those of many to really go ahead and really do the games and really do the attacks that we really expected to do. But the most important bit of it all to me is a clean sheet for David De Gea. Right now, David De Gea has gone ahead to keep his 15th clean sheet of the season. He's the most unscored goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. You know, the person behind him is the goalkeeper of Newcastle, and today they've gone ahead to win against Southampton by 3-1, but they've gone ahead to concede. No clean sheet kept. The other one is Aaron Ramsdale. He's having 12, and he's going to play on Tuesday. The other one is Edson Morales. Today, Man City has gone ahead to beat Fulham by 2-1, has gone ahead to really concede one. So I look at all this and understand that David De Gea is onto that run of really winning the Golden Glove. And I don't know when he last won it, because that side of United rarely kept clean sheets. But this time around, he has gone ahead to keep a 15th clean sheet of the season. And I liked his ball distribution. Talk about the ball distribution of David De Gea tonight. It was really great. Every time he was called up for to put up a challenge and obviously save the team of Manchester United, he was all there and he did the needful. And that defense, the central defense of Luke Shaw and Lindelof, it was really magnificent. They really did the required job on the day. And to me, I just don't want to see Harry Maguire coming through and really playing this game of football anymore, because Luke Shaw and Lindelof are really having a very good understanding. Remember that ball that Lindelof clears off the line? You know, Luke Shaw coming in and putting in a block. I think it was Ole Watkins trying to score against us. So the central defense partnership is developing and looking better, though we are missing Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, but they are trying to make us forget about Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane by going ahead to do the needful at the club of Manchester United. And kudos for those two. That is Luke Shaw and Rafael Varane. You know, when you look at Rafael Varane, ice cold, you know, it looks like he's having ice in his lungs. He gets that ball, passes it, you know. We played the high line for the entire full 90. We played the high line, and no one could question whether we are not having Rafael Varane or Lisandro Martinez. And with that partnership developing into what we want it to be, I don't want to see Erik ten Hag on Thursday bringing in Harry Maguire to play against Brighton. I think we need to keep it flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing, because having played our 32nd game of the season, we are left with just 6 games to go. I think those 6 games can see these players go ahead and really do the needful. And those 6 games, we are playing Brighton away, Chelsea, Wolverhampton Wanderers at home, Fulham at home. There is Bournemouth away from home, and which other team are we going to play away from home? So those are the games that we are left with, and I think that central defense can obviously go ahead and really give us the results that we deserve into that beautiful game of football. So I don't want us to find ourselves in a situation of really changing that central defense. It really looks great ever since they started to play into that beautiful game of football, and I really love it. I love it. I love it, die, and I also know you guys that you really love it. Now, that midfield of Manchester United, you know, Sabitzer, Eriksson, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes. Let me talk about Bruno. Let me talk about Casemiro. You know, I told you that in the game of Tottenham Hotspur, I saw those flashes of Casemiro coming back like he was before he found himself really red-carded in the game of, Southampton. And today, I think we are now at par that Casemiro is really back. Today, there is nothing wrong that Casemiro did on that field of play. He really did everything right. I think you can agree with me. Casemiro got everything right into that beautiful game of football of Manchester United versus Aston Villa, as we took on a side called Aston Villa. Casemiro was really a steady Eddie. In that midfield, he was really one of those bright sparks that you wanted to really see until the day comes up. You know, he really played very well. He made aggressive interceptions, you understand. He really made penetrative passes. And for the goal that we score, he's the one who really makes that block. You know, that ball coming in from Emiliano Martinez as they're into transition to the half line, towards the half line. Casemiro just heads that ball into space. Marcus Rashford busts into space, and you know what he does each and every time he's running and there is lots of space behind him, he goes in for curling efforts. Then Emiliano Martinez punches it, and obviously it lands into the vicinity of Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno buries it home to give us a lead that was well much deserved by Manchester United. That is a player known as Casemiro. To me, he has put in a performance that everyone will really call in a man of the match performance. You know, someone go for Bruno Fernandes, but I think this man known as Casemiro has gone ahead to really put in his leadership skills today on the field of play, and I think undoubtedly he's really going to compete for the Man of the Match award today as really tussle this down. Now, let's go to what we call the match stats. 14 shots by Manchester United, 7 by Aston Villa, 6 shots on target by Manchester United. At least they averaged half of the total shots they had. Then 1 shot on target by Aston Villa. It shows you that we were really a very, 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 very steady central defense. Out of the 7, I think 1 was on target, and I think that's the one that Lindelof gets off the off the goal line, and it puts us in a situation of really being one of those teams that want to hate to defend very, 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 very many, because I think now no team in the Premier League is going to hate to keep more clean sheets than us. That is evident because we are having the goalkeeper that's going to hate to concede the least number of goals this season. That is David De Gea. Possession 58%. I think would have gone ahead to command for more, but Aston Villa is also a decent side. They're having decent midfielders, McGuinn, Didonka, and this guy. What is his name? Douglas Luiz. And on any day, you wouldn't come out and really don't want a player like Douglas Luiz in the midfield of Manchester United. That's it. But obviously, he had a very fantastic game of football today at Old Trafford, but we just went ahead to really win the midfield battle. And 511 passes completed by Manchester United. I think we're going to have to complete close to 600, averaging 300 per half. Then 369 passes completed by Aston Villa. That is Aston Villa for you. Then 85% passing accuracy. I think that's great because by the time Eric Ten Hag came in through, we found ourselves in a situation of not even completing some good number of passes. And this time round, we are really trying to really ride. Then Aston Villa had 78% passing accuracy, 16 fouls by United, 7 fouls by Aston Villa. 2 yellow cards to Manchester United. I think one went to Malacia and the other one went to Fred Rodriguez. And for the Malacia foul that he does, it was really great. And I think that's what would have gone ahead to do when you're playing Tottenham Hotspur over the weekend. That's it. Because Tottenham, if at all he had pulled that shot of Harry Kane, we wouldn't have gone ahead to concede that goal. I think that's what the fans of United we are calling in for, to go all out and really put in what we call a very good shift. And that was a professional foul. And the card he got was really called in for, because you leave Traore to go like that with his swift left foot, he would have gone in for a shot, and Fred that was facing him was already booked. And Fred fouling him at the edge of Tina's box area would have called in for more threat at goal and maybe even a second bookable offense for Freddie to really see him out of the team. So I think he did a very good foul, and Aston Villa got 0 yellow cards, but that was really so much naive of the referee, and I'm calling him out for not flashing yellow cards to the players, like McGinn, and is it Konsa? They had like 3 players that were supposed to really get booked, and they did get booked on the day. 0 red cards to both sides and 7 offsides to Manchester United. There are really so much many in the first half. Do you know why? Because they are playing a high line and couldn't beat it. But in the second half, we only got 1 offside, and that was of Malacia. But all in all, things really went on very well, and we really had to win this game of football. 3 offsides by Aston Villa, 1 corner by Manchester United, 4 corners by Aston Villa. So I think we really needed to put in more shift that was really called in for us to really put in this game to bed and obviously call in for what we call a win. on the day. Then I'm having Brian O'Willy. Very fantastic job, my brother. Thank you for watching in through. It was really a job done at Old Trafford, and I think most of you are just excited like me for really getting this job done and dusted. You know, it's always not an easy job against Aston Villa. You know, Aston Villa is really a very decent side, and very many teams that have gone ahead to play it at their homes, like Manchester, like Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and very many others, have gone ahead to really find a hard time when they are playing Aston Villa. So to me, getting a win, 1-0, and keeping a clean sheet is really great. And this is another decent side that have gone ahead to play and not concede. I was all excited when we never conceded against Brighton because I know how good Brighton is. And look at Aston Villa. When they did last play a game and not score? Let me try and really find it out here, because it's really astonishing that we've not again to concede. We've not gone ahead to concede against Aston Villa, one of the most decent sides in the league, yet they've been scoring and firing in goals left, right, and center. When they are playing against Fulham over the weekend, they won by 1 goal, meaning that they really put in a shift and they really found themselves scoring. They scored against Brentford. They put 3 past Newcastle. They put 2 past Leicester City. They put 2 past Nottingham Forest. They put 2 past Chelsea at home, moreover. They put 3 past Bournemouth. You know, they put 1 past West Ham. You know, so they put 1 past Crystal Palace. Guys, Aston Villa, let me see. When did they last fail to score a goal? I think that was when they're having Steven Gerrard. Let me see. When did they last not score a goal? You know, Aston Villa last failed to score a goal last year in October 2022. Do you know what it means? Us coming in through and stopping a side that last failed to score a goal close to 5 months back, and we forced them into a clean sheet on our side. That is something we should go all out and really be happy about. So I'm really happy about this result today, because if we go ahead and keep clean sheets at Old Trafford, that means we are really already into the shift to really find ourselves in a position of really going into what we call the Champions League. I'm having Robert Bush. I love the spirit. Man United, we go. All right. Thank you very much. From a 2-2 draw against Tottenham Hotspur, losing that 2-goal lead to 2-2. I think this was the response that we required from Manchester United, from this team that is being coached by Eric Ten Hag, and kudos to the players of Manchester United. Musa Ahmed up Man United for Casemiro. Casemiro was really a steady head into that midfield. He just went ahead to epitomize that midfield, and it was peculiar. You know, he stood out on the day, and no one can come out and really say that Casemiro never had the best of the game that we really deserved as a team of Manchester United. But there was a time when Marcus Rashford was brought down around the 77th minute on the edge of the Tina's box area, and I asked myself, how was this not given as a penalty? To me, I thought it was a clear penalty that the referee just found himself not giving to Manchester United. And you look at that and ask yourself, what is the role of VAR? Because Rashford was protecting the ball, and guess who brings him down? It's the central defender of Aston Villa. And I think we are last given a penalty way back, and I think we should have found ourselves in a position of really giving that game very, very well. And today we've been told by, is it Swakaka, since losing to Brighton on match day 1, Man United have taken 39 out of the possible 45 points at Old Trafford in the Premier League. Guys, have you heard that? Out of the possible 39 points, we've gone ahead to collect, out of the possible 45, we've gone ahead to collect 45 points. That's really huge. That's really huge if at all you know what that means, because out of 45, we've gone ahead to collect 39, meaning that we've dropped 6, and those 6 are a draw against Newcastle, a draw against Southampton, and a draw against Leeds. Those are the draws that really came in through and really conceded. But I think if I really had Casemiro in the game of Leeds, we wouldn't have really found ourselves doing that game of football. Newcastle, we created chances and We never converted them, and even when we got clear-cut chances, we failed to really convert them into the back of the net. So that's what really came to our know as Manchester United. So it's really great, and I think we're really doing a wonderful job at Old Trafford. And Ten Hag turning it into a fortress is really something that you would love to see to it. That next season we come in through and obviously get our levels to the levels that we expect them to be. Then the other player that we have to talk about is obviously Jadon Sancho. I think he has gone ahead to really show us that he is really improving game in, game out. If you're talking about the most improved players under Erik ten Hag, I think Sancho is putting himself in a position of really not disappointing himself. And obviously has gone ahead to start another game for Manchester United. And he played close to 80 minutes on the day, something that we thought is unusual for Manchester United, sort of for Erik ten Hag to really give Sancho all those minutes, because Anton Martial found himself on the bench. Anthony found himself benched, and I believe both deserve to be benched because they really looked bad in the game of Tottenham Hotspur. That's why I came out and called out Erik ten Hag on really taking off Sancho first than taking off Anthony in the game of Tottenham Hotspur, because he looked very bad on the night. And I wouldn't really understand the reason as to why he really went in for that. Now, let's see how this table really stands as far as this win that we're going to hit to get really has gone ahead to come in through and obviously take us to the levels that we deserve to be. Man City, 76 points. Arsenal 75, Newcastle having 65, but they played one more game than us. I think we are going to play a game in the midweek that will see us really level with Newcastle. The number of games we're going to have to play. If we win away at Brighton, though it's been a very tricky and hard game, but we will find ourselves in a position of really winning very many more games than that. Then we come to Manchester United. Man United has found itself in the position that is fourth with 63 points. And today's win has taken us to 63 points. Last season we had 58, meaning that we are 5 points ahead of the many that we found ourselves in a position of really getting or collecting last season. Meaning that Tottenham Hotspur is playing against Liverpool today. If they play today, they would have gone ahead to play more 2 games than us. I don't see them winning, That's it. And today, Liverpool might find themselves in the 5th position if at all they go ahead and really win against Tottenham Hotspur. So that puts us in a situation of really winning our games, because Liverpool is left with 32 games, is left with 6 games. If they win the 6 games, they're having 71 points. That's it. And as I've always told you that, we just need to go all out and win all our games at Old Trafford. If we win the remaining 3 games at Old Trafford and we collect maximum points, we'll be having 72 points. That means Liverpool will be nowhere near us. Liverpool will be nowhere near us, because even if they win all the games they have, they'll be at 72, at 71 points. And if we win all the games we have, we are going to be at 70. We are going to be at 72 points. But I think we'll win all our games at Old Trafford, and we'll go away at Bournemouth and really get a win. A win, that's it. So let's wait and see how that is going to pan out for Manchester United as you see that table, because that table really means a lot. I think the only threat here is Liverpool. And look at Aston Villa that we've beaten today. They've played 2 more games than us, and they're at 54 points. Right now, we are 8 points. We are 9 points ahead of them before playing the 2 games we have in hand. That means we play the 2 games we have in hand and we win them. Obviously, we'll be 18 points ahead of them. And Liverpool has gone ahead right now, 53 points. We are 10 points ahead of Liverpool. So that means we have to go ahead and lose very many games for Liverpool to come to us and really get back to us. So it's really good that we are into this position and most of our players are really coming in back, and them coming in back means that we are really ready to go ahead and really cause a lot of mayhem to the times of Liverpool. And I know we can even dislodge Newcastle from that position. That's why when you look at the manager of Manchester United, Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to rest players like Anthony, Anton Martial, who else has been rested? And Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He wants them to come on Thursday when they are fresh to take on Brighton. And I think we can easily know that that trio is going to start the game of Brighton away from home on It's going to be on Thursday. That's when we are playing that team known as Brighton. Then I'm having Moses Oyika when Garnacho starting his job. I think Garnacho is going to return in the game of Brighton. On Thursday, Garnacho is going to make the match squad that's going to travel to Brighton, and he's really going to be one of those that might come off the bench and obviously do the needful. And that will really put Eric Ten Hag in a condition of having very many players that can come off the bench and kill off this game. Not so. So I really like it, and I really feel happiness. A lot of election is in me, and I feel that we really win. We really need to do the needful. And Garnacho coming in through is really going to be a very huge boost into our charge for the top four, because we are into a position of winning more 4 games out of the remaining 6. And I think we might not lose any of those games. That's it. Brighton looks like one of the hardest games that you'll find us playing. That is tomorrow on Thursday. But I think we can go ahead and really beat them. You know, we just need to go ahead and win our games. Win all our games, we'll be into what we call the Champions League. And that's the most important bit of the remaining games of the season. We win all of our games, Liverpool won't be having a chance. That's it. And I think this is the best tribute. This is the best revenge that we can give to Liverpool to lock them out of the top 4. That's it. They need to go and play UEFA Europa League next season, and they'll jubilate about them. They'll jubilate about not coming in through and really giving us the required and giving us 7-0 at Anfield. But us will be telling them, you've not gone ahead to qualify for the Champions League. So all what you need is to really relax and float, shush your mouths and don't talk to us again, because you gave us 7 and you've not found yourselves in a position of really winning. And Liverpool have gone ahead to score their first goal against Tottenham Hotspur in just 4 minutes. And it looks like it's going to be another annihilation for Tottenham Hotspur on the night. I also felt it because I knew we at Old Trafford. And what has come out of this win has been simple: a clean sheet. It is one of the most positives that I've really taken out of this game, plus Casemiro coming in through and really controlling that game, controlling that midfield, and obviously doing the needful that he deserves as a player, and looks like he's getting back to his sharpness that you would love him to be at all the time. That is Casemiro and the team of Manchester United. So the winners happened. It was really one of those that we couldn't really live without this time round. And it came in through as required, and we went ahead to win that beautiful game of football by 1-0. Then, Connacht Media, next Man United win will be a boost to our top 4 finish, but today was okay. And obviously, we are playing Brighton. I know Brighton is really a very good side. We need to respect the side, the coach De Zerbi. But I think if we find ourselves in a position of really giving ourselves chances of really destroying the teams around us, then why can't we go away at Brighton and beat them? I think we're having a better squad than them. That's it. I saw them beat Wolves 6-1 yesterday. Caicedo and McAllister were arrested on the evening. They really played very well, and they found themselves in a position of really winning. So I think we can come in through and really win them. I think we can beat them left, right, and center, because we're having the quality on the field of play. Martial has been rested. I fancy him to start. Bissaka has been rested. I fancy him to cross down Mitoma. Anthony with Estupian. I think that's another battle that Anthony can win on the night. So I don't really feel afraid of us playing against Brighton. I think bring it on. Let's jog onto that side and really collect the points that we deserve as a team of Manchester United. And we are a team that is really ruthless. And we've not lost a game ever since we lost to a team known as Newcastle. Then I'm having Isaac Matianga. Varani's return is really dubious. I cannot come out and speculate when the lad is going to come back, because they said 6 weeks. But let's wait and see. If at all he returns, we only play in the finale of the FA Cup. But these remaining games of the league, don't expect him to play a very big part into this game. So to me, it comes to my understanding that I only need Varane in the finale of the FA Cup against Man City. But these other games, I think we can win them without Varane. That's it. If Varane comes back early enough and plays some games in the Premier League, that will be okay. But I would love to see him return and play only one game this season. Then he goes to the holiday and really takes his rest. That is the game of Man City. So 6 weeks for Varane. So if you have to count 6 weeks from now, that will be hard for him to really play on third. Let's wait and see whether Ten Hag will make a decision for him to play. I love the trust Ten Hag has given to Victor Lindelof and Luke Shaw in the heart of defense, leaving Harry Maguire out. Yeah, but we might find ourselves seeing Harry Maguire when it comes to the game of Brighton. That's it, because this manager looks like he just can't handle the pressure nowadays. Yet, to me, I believed that he had gone ahead to really show Harry Maguire that I've trimmed your wings off and you cannot come here and really command. But obviously, Luke Shaw and Lindelof are really playing very, 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 very good and very well. So I fancy them to continue doing the job as well trusted. Then Conmat Media, our defense was organized, very, very organized. And I liked the way they really kept that offside line well. You know, sometimes they always kept it and some other players played players on side. But as it stands, it's really one of those days that you'll understand that a team known as Manchester United is really good to go on the night, and we really looked great in defense. Thanks to Bruno Fernandes, our captain. Yeah, he really did great. And he's going ahead to show to it that he's the captain who leads this team to everywhere we want to go. And these players are really hungry to get Champions League football, because if they don't find themselves in Champions League winning positions, they will not get their 25% increment. Remember, when United doesn't qualify for the Champions League, these players are really deducted at 25% of their salaries. But them getting back to the Champions League, we'll see them really getting increment from their salaries. I sign out for now. See you later. Thank you for watching it through. That has been my match reaction. Rokan David remains my name. I'm out.